Make the motion, we re-adjourn.
A second.
All is here.
Okay, we're back on the record? Alright, in the executive session, we have decided to move forward with the resolution as a determination.
Of the what?
We have decided to move forward with the resolution as a determination of the executive session. Okay, motion 22-86. Motion by, whereas the Schuyler Falls Town Board has a duty to implement a fair and balanced annual town budget, and whereas the Schuyler Falls Town Board at times adjusts budget public salaries in the interest of taxpayers at their discretion, and whereas the Schuyler Falls Town Board will adjust the 2023 salaries of the two following positions. Whereas the following two positions serve taxpayers at the pleasure of the town board. Whereas the following salary adjustments will be effective from 1/1 of 2023 to 12/31 of 2023. Now therefore be it resolved, the 2023 salary for the position of safety officer, account code A3620.1, will be budgeted in the amount of $11,000 annually, and the 2023 salary for the position of code enforcement officer, account code A8010.3, will be .1, excuse me, thanks for correcting me, will be budgeted in the amount of $11,000. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Karati?
So the town taxpayers don't get any say on this before the budget just gets the board just gets to have their way with this?
No.
Gross mischaracterization.
We can have discussion on it. I mean, we've allowed discussion a million times for these things, but I'd like to get through the formal part of the motion, and then
Okay.
the next thing will be discussion. And Mr. Facto is correct, that discussion on resolutions are by the board. But past practice, we have had multiple people weigh in on those discussions. And we work for you, so your opinion is valued.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Second.
and Mr. Facto. Okay, under discussion, I'm gonna say that I would have much rather waited until we had a little bit more information on this, on how to proceed. And I think that it would have been pertinent. Again, I was outvoted when it comes to this one. So,
I'd also like to say that I am going to be voting no because of several underlying reasons.
if there's no other discussion, I'll let you speak.
Okay, so I have a lot of issues with this, and I hope that everybody takes this with respect, 'cause I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. But the current code enforcement officer has 18 years of public service. The start of this resolution I find funny because it says, whereas the town will pass a fair budget. So we have a budget where, and like I said, no disrespect, but the supervisor's salary raised, the highway superintendent's salary is raised. There was I don't know if council raised, recreation raised, and we're gonna lower a code enforcement officer that has 18 years of experience during historic inflation. The reasoning to adjust the other salaries, such as rec or highway, was cost of living, inflation, like I just said, but somehow we're gonna cut somebody's salary by 50%, almost 40%, a year before they retire, which is a huge liability for the town. And this is no disrespect to the councilmen, but the councilmen, if anything, are the ones with overinflated salaries. You guys are making $240 a meeting. That's $80 an hour in a 3-hour meeting. Why don't you guys cut your salary in half and pay for this $14,000
Why
guy?
don't you follow me around all week and see how many hours I actually work?
Well, why don't you follow Bill account around and see how many hours he
I would
works?
like to. I would like to see a part of his job description being what he does with mileage listed as what he does and the accountability of what he does. And show us that work. Do you want to keep going?
Well, I think the failure of oversight by the board is not Mr. Account's.
It's not about the account. This is about the salary. This is about the
Can't
salary.
talk,
we can't
please.
start.
Yeah.
No, no.
Well, Mr. Account is the current code enforcement officer, so.
But it's not about him. It's about the salary. It's $36,000.
Okay, it's $27,000 in beating the town for the
It's
23 budget.
22,000.
I got the information from Norm Davis
Okay.
today.
Okay. Well,
It's
it was
what-
22, so they went.
It's 27,000 in a
Okay.
proposed 23 budget.
All right.
The average salary for a code enforcement officer in New York State is $47,000 a year
That's it.
for town.
That's,
That has nothing to do with Clinton County. You know, compare all the Clinton County towns.
I think it's a
Position.
grave injustice as a taxpayer. I think it's morally wrong to cut somebody's salary by $14,000 a year before retirement. And, you know, the
Now,
board,
how do you know he's retiring? You got this in writing that he's officially retiring? Or?
well, he's said it to
He
numerous
said it.
people.
I said I was gonna retire 8 years in a row before I did at the prison.
So if we disregard that statement, which I agree with you, Vern, so if we disregard just the fact that, say he doesn't retire next year, you still think it's justified to cut somebody's salary by 40%?
Well, if you gotta adjust the budget someplace. We've gotta start taking
So you can
steps.
raise other people, you can raise highway superintendent by 8,000, and recreation by 6,000, and supervisor by 2,000.
Recreation was at $11,000 for 30-some years.
10 something.
10,000. So we're grossly overdue. You talk about gross
Yeah.
injustice. There's a guy that works a lot of hours and is making 10 grand a year.
So how much, I mean, so this $14,000 decrease, I mean, what's the cent per thousand on a taxpayer? How much money are you guys saving us by cutting this guy's
No, we
salary?
didn't cut anything. I don't know. I didn't figure it out. But, you know, we didn't cut, we didn't give these guys, other guys, Mike got $1,700 or $1,800 raise despite his 3%.
Well, and like I said, I started with by my comments was saying that it's no disrespect to Mike. I think that Mike deserves a raise. I think whoever's in that position deserves a raise. I think that you guys deserve what you're getting paid, and that, you know, Kevin deserves a cost of living raise, and Sam too. But I don't see how you can justify all those but not give. Yeah, this person's not only not getting a raise or getting a cost of living adjustment. This person's getting cut by
He still
40%.
gets the cost of living adjustment. We didn't take that away.
So, but his salary's still getting cut by 40%.
And that is the position.
The position's getting cut
That's
by 40%.
position.
Yeah.
Yes, and the same thing we did with the town. When Mike left, we cut that position back a lot.
Yeah.
That was 75,000. We
77.
Brought it back to
77.
60,000.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue about it.
No.
You done, Dave?
Yeah, we can argue into that a lot.
Okay. Brings us to a roll call vote.
Mr. Newton?
No.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
No. Motion passes. Resolution passes, excuse me. All right, 2287. A motion be it resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of section 106 of the town law approves and adopts the annexed detailed statement of estimated expenditure and revenues and the same hereby as a preliminary budget for the year 2023. Such preliminary budget shall be filed forthwith in the office of the town clerk, where it shall be available for public inspection, and be resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls will hold a public hearing to hear comments for or against the year 2023 preliminary budget on Thursday, November 10th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. at the Town Hall at 997 Mason Street, Morrisonville, with a special meeting to follow for the purpose of adopting the 2023 annual budget, and be it therefore resolved that the town clerk shall give notice of such public hearing in the official newspaper at least 5 days prior to the hearing, and shall cause a copy of said notice to be posted on the bulletin board and the town's website. Do I get a motion?
Motion.
by Mr. Newman,
Second.
and Mr. Parati. Discussion?
I have discussion now because that's why we switched this to the second one, because of the fact that the preliminary budget before this gets adopted needs to be changed to 2 line items so that it can go forward. Does that make sense, Mike?
It does, because to me, and I don't wanna speak for him, but the other resolution did state that was written by Mr. Facto, line items that I was corrected on. A8010.1 will be 11,000 and A3620.1 will be corrected to 11,000. So we do have to do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to speak for you, go ahead.
So where do I add that in, Mike? Because the preliminary budget, before we adopt it tonight, which is right here,
Right.
is going to be changed 2 line items. That's why these 2 resolutions are switched
I think you could just add, with the,
with the exception.
with the changes
On resolution
made
20,
and resolution 22-86.
Approves and adopts the annex detailed statement be with the changes, right, after the
Yes.
revenues be,
changes made in resolution 22-26.
86. 22-86.
I apologize, 2286.
so that be in the same hereby as a preliminary budget for the year 2023 does not pertain to this?
If he hadn't put the provisions in there, then we were just saying we were gonna change the salary, it'd be different. Because, just because it's provided for in the budget, doesn't mean we have to use that whole line item of budgeted money. But the way Mr. Facto wrote the resolution, he actually put the line provisions in there at those salaries. So that is going to require a change.
Yeah.
I believe. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I'm not a lawyer, so we'll let.
What,
Yeah, I don't think you have to add that in twice, Don.
So with the changes made in resolution 2286 to be the preliminary budget for the year 2023?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have to amend the temporary, or the tentative budget before we have the, correct?
To be the,
That will allow her to, and Mary to amend the budget as detailed in,
Mm-hmm.
for- so with the changes made in resolution 2286 to be the preliminary budget for the year 2023.
Yes, that's fine.
there's no way you can keep that in there. How can we do that?
you can't on that, because of that other resolution.
That's why we switched these 2 resolutions.
There's no way to keep it in there, there's no going back, the way it's written.
Yep.
Unless put an amendment to the other resolution. I don't know how you do that now that it's passed. That'd be a good question for him.
We've done that before, haven't we? Changed the resolution, just allow one and do another one if you need to.
I'd just like to add something in there that says, upon clarification of,
You can't, it's a preliminary budget, it needs to be done tonight. It can't be changed until November 10th now.
No, the only thing you could do is,
no,
if I'm following you, is to keep the budgeted money for 2023 the same on those 2 line items. Doesn't mean you have to pay that salary.
but if we find that everything is as discussed, then it would take effect that amount would be changed. But if we find that it can't take effect, we're already budgeted for that amount. Right now, if we change this, we find that we can't what's coming through, we're gonna have to come up with more money somehow.
Not if we don't change the rate.
You'll just have to I don't know, but Mary and I, we talked about this today. The way it was done would be the preliminary budget would have to be changed, because tonight, the preliminary budget is set and nothing can be changed with it.
After this resolution.
After,
Well,
right.
actually, at the
Well,
public hearing, the people can ask for change. You can't change the
It
tentative.
can't be changed until the special meeting
Exactly.
on November
I agree
10th.
with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yeah, with I guess, I would say with the exception of that, but I guess I can't do it that way. It's either all or nothing, so I guess I'm,
Sure.
yes. Okay, it's not like where Reggie says, I don't agree with that one on this resolution because it's a tentative. I guess it's either yes or no. All right, resolution 2288. I didn't miss anything. Motion, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls approves the following highway fund budget transfers. From DA.5110.100, general repairs, personal services, to DA.9050.800, unemployment insurance. The amounts are the same, $8,439.38. To cover the cost of expenses for the 2022 for unemployment.
Yeah. Move.
Mr. Facto, makes a motion. Seconded by you, Vern? Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Resolution 22-89. A motion be it resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls approves the following general fund budget transfers from WM.0909.000 fund balance on reserve to WM.8310.400 administration contingent. The money amounts are exactly the same, $2,000. And this is to cover the cost of expenses of the Burge today. The motion?
Motion.
Mr. Parati,
Second.
by Mr. Newman. Roll call, any discussion?
Yeah, please. You said the Verge to date, is this, any portion of this money have to do with the Ripson Avenue project?
No, it's, WM is, Morrisonville, right?
Morpho
Yes.
Water District,
Okay.
fund balance on reserve. too.
Okay, thank you.
I would never answer that without Mary, but yeah. Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Resolution 2290. A motion by whereas the town board be it, a motion by, whereas the town board resolved to hold a public hearing for local law number 3, 2022, a local law to adopt a partial exemption of real property persons 65 years of age and older. Whereas the notice of public hearing was posted in the Press Republican and posted on the town clerk's bulletin board, and whereas the public hearing was held on October 25th of 2022, during which time any persons could voice comments for or against local law 22-3, it is hereby resolved that the town board adopts local law 22-3, which offers real property tax relief for persons with an annual income of up to a maximum of $26,000 a year, or $26,000 raised from $24,000, and it is further resolved that the town clerk is directed to send the appropriate paperwork to the Secretary of State and the Real Property Office. And those are yearly salaries, but it doesn't say that in there. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Newton?
Second.
Mr. Facto? Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Okay, let's end the resolution for tonight. All right, claims. Audit only 2022-016-1267 to 2022-01277. Claims 2022-01291 through 2022-01367. Payroll claims 2022-01253 through 2022-01266 and 2022-01278 through 2022-01290.
Again.
Bless you. General fund, $21,753.97. Highway, $252,539.47. Audit only, $2,331.47. Woods Mills Water, $1,736.65. Morseville Water, $9,465.66. Macy Lane Water, $845.73. Need a motion to pay the claims?
Motion to pay the claims?
Mr. Newton
Second.
and Mr. Bruno. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Parati?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Facto?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Anything from public?
I would like to say that 3 minutes.
Yep. Extend the
I
time.
would like to say that I like all the work that this town board has done over the last couple of years. I've been attending meetings, but I feel like tonight, Resolution 2286 was a grave injustice. I attended these budget hearings where this was discussed the first time. That $11,000 salary that was proposed in there was hastily thrown out by a councilman with no research at all before that was hastily thrown out. So I don't know how that $11,000 was agreed upon, but any of the research that I did today, $11,000 is not the salary of any code enforcement of any town in Clinton County.
It's not true.
So, well, if you have facts to back that up, I'd love to see it.
You don't have one, we'll show you.
And other than that, I think it's a grave injustice, and I don't think it's fair to the taxpayers to put them up on, for a liability such as that for such a minuscule amount of money that could be easily resolved in the 24 budget instead of the 23 budget. So I hope it's not personal vendettas by members of this board, but that's where we're at. That's all I have.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comments? Okay. The next regular meeting will be held on 11/15 of 22, Tuesday at 6 o'clock PM. Public hearing will also be held on 11/10 of 22, that's a Tuesday at 5:30 PM.
It's a Thursday.
Oh, yeah, it is Thursday.
Typo. Thank you.
Put it on record that I will not be in attendance, I will be out of town
On the 10th?
on the 10th.
Same here.
Are you guys gonna be here? Because we need at least 3.
This is for our budget, right?
Yeah,
I'll be here.
Okay. So it will be at 5:30 on Thursday, 11/10. Work sessions, if needed, will be on 11/7/22, Monday at 6 PM, and 11/21/22, Monday at 6 PM. If nothing else, I would like a motion to adjourn. Need a second?
Second.
Mr. Newton. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you.
all in favor to go?
Aye.
Aye.